Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
President Trump is calling for a member of Congress to resign following the Russia report. I'm Laura Podesta. I'll tell you how that congressman is responding.
The city of Bozeman is taking a little bit of extra time to focus on pedestrian safety. I'm Cody Boyer with that story.
Good morning to you and welcome to your Friday. Can you believe it? The final Friday of March.
I can't believe it's finally Friday.
I'm Missy O'Malley with the fabulous Chet Lehman. Our Matt Elbow will have our weekend forecast here for you in just a moment. It's 6:31 and our top story for you now. For more than 80 minutes last night, President Trump rallied a raucous crowd in Michigan, a potential key swing state for the 2020 presidential election.
And it was the investigation into Russian meddling in the 2016 election that remained front and center. CBS's Laura Podesta has more this morning from New York.
The Russia hoax is finally dead.
In front of his supporters for the first time since the end of the special counsel's Russia probe.
The collusion delusion is over.
President Trump kept his ire focused on Democrats who have their own investigations into him.
The Democrats have to now decide whether they will continue defrauding the public with ridiculous bullshit.
He singled out the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee.
Little pencil neck Adam Schiff.
Earlier on Thursday, House Republicans demanded Schiff resign as chairman of the committee. The president took it a step further, tweeting he should be forced to resign from Congress.
I think it's unethical.
Schiff punched back.
My colleagues may think it's okay that the Russians offered dirt on a Democratic candidate for president as part of what was described as the Russian government's effort to help the Trump campaign. You might think that's okay.
CBS News has learned Robert Mueller's report is more than 300 pages long.
Total exoneration.
Attorney General William Barr's 4-page summary of the report says Mueller found no evidence of collusion, but could not exonerate the president on possible obstruction of justice charges.
Show us the report, and we can draw our own conclusions.
Democrats say they may subpoena the report if it's not released by Tuesday. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
Now we're told 77% of people polled by CBS News say the special counsel's findings on Russia election interference should be released to the public.
More to follow on that, as always. Matt joins us now. The weekend is upon us.
Just about. For us, I don't know, we still have another day or so. Temperatures are fairly chilly. We're going to be dealing with some snow at times for the morning. It'll make things a little slick as you're heading off to work. But man, as Missy said, the weekend's upon us and it looks fantastic as we head into the weekend. We're not seeing a lot of low-level coverage on our satellite and radar imagery, but there are some light snowflakes flying out there and there may be some slick spots this morning. We'll see off and on snow showers through the afternoon. Not a lot of accumulation expected, but we do have some clearing conditions in time for your Saturday. We'll talk more about that, of course, in just a few minutes.
Now coming up on 6:34, 28-year-old Jonathan Birch pleaded not guilty to 3 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of murder at his arraignment on Thursday morning in Missoula.
Birch is the suspect from a shooting spree in Missoula that left 1 person dead, 2 others injured, and 1 Montana Highway Patrol officer fighting for his life in a Salt Lake City hospital. The night of March 14th, prosecutors say that Birch shot and killed Shelley Hayes and also shot and injured Casey and Julie Blanchard over a road rage incident. Birch left the scene, eventually made his way to nearby Evero Bar where he shot Trooper Wade Palmer. He remains in the Missoula County Detention Facility on a $2 million bond. Will make his next court appearance on May 30th.
And yesterday, ATF agents and officers from West Yellowstone Police Department carried out what they called an enforcement operation. Firehole Avenue was shut down between Geyser and Hayden Streets while officers conducted their investigation. No other information was given, and officials say there was no threat to the public. We will, of course, pass along more information as it becomes available.
Mining City headlines. View police still looking for a man they claim stabbed and wounded 3 people Wednesday. Suspect accused of wounding 3 men with a knife during an altercation outside this convenience store on Montana Street about 11:30 in the evening. He ran from the scene and the 3 victims were treated and released from St. James Healthcare. Police are reviewing store video and questioning people in that incident.
And whether you're on foot, behind the wheel, or trying to get around downtown, Bozeman can be oftentimes very frustrating and even dangerous.
The city has a master plan to make everything from roads to sidewalks safer. MTN's Cody Boyer sat down with the city engineer to find out how Bozeman is putting pedestrians first.
We're constantly looking at our street network and our pedestrian network for how we can improve safety.
For Bozeman City Engineer Sean Coates, making someone's walk through town a safe one has become more than a career, it's a city routine.
There are newer things that we're doing now to improve pedestrian safety. So, for example, we're now getting wider shared use paths on some of our major streets.
The idea, larger, more accommodating sidewalks, starting with something as small as taking care of your own portion of sidewalk, and more warning signs.
When people are walking on sidewalks, it's a very social activity, so a lot of times you'll see people three abreast. And so, in those scenarios where we get heavy use, we're getting wider facilities.
Coates says everything that is needed for improvement throughout the city is already planned out through what is called the Transportation Master Plan, with pedestrian safety as step number one.
We see a lot of pedestrian traffic, and I would like to see a little more safety for them.
Ruth Cack works downtown and at one of the busiest intersections. She says a little patience goes a long way towards safety.
When it says don't walk, to not walk as a pedestrian, and for cars to not honk at pedestrians.
Coates says flashing light crossings and hybrid beacons are a part of the plan. As the budget allows, the improvements will happen citywide. Until then, for both drivers and pedestrians,
it's hard to anticipate when you have a distracted driver. So, the vigilance part helps with that.
In Bozeman, Cody Boyer, MTN News.
Now, you can take a look at Bozeman's Transportation Master Plan yourself. We have a link to it on our website.
And while the demolition of both MSU gyms continues, a viewer happened to be nearby when the North Gym's north wall was knocked down. He caught it on camera. Now, MSU student Andy Turner got the shot from the top floor of the parking garage. Next door yesterday, university officials say that the crews are carefully taking down each wall as to not hurt the rest of the fitness center connected to it. But the plan includes knocking down both the upper gym and the south gym, which was the first to have its roof collapse. Now, students say seeing the empty spot brings back those memories of when it all happened.
There's older buildings here, kind of something that sits in the back of your mind as you're sitting there in class. Crazy stuff, and there's people in there 18 hours a day, and nice to see that no one got hurt.
Now, Grant Street reopened shortly after that north wall was taken down. The upper and south gym will be demolished in the next few weeks.
6:38 and other headlines this morning. Montana Senator Steve Daines wants a doctor convicted of sexual abuse on the Blackfeet Reservation to stop getting government benefits. Senator Daines sent a letter to the Secretary of Health and Human Services urging him to stop Stanley Weber from receiving a pension while serving an 18-year prison term. Weber's story was outlined in an investigation by the Wall Street Journal and aired on a PBS program Frontline. Weber served as a pediatrician in Browning between 1992 and 1995. He was charged with 2 counts of aggravated sexual abuse of a child, attempted aggravated sexual abuse of a child, attempted sexual abuse of a minor, and abusive sexual contact of a minor. He was also accused of sexual abuse while serving on the Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota. He was sentenced in January. This week, President Trump announced formation of a new task force to focus on protecting Native American children in the Indian Health Service system.
And a Russian Federation plane is spending the week at Malmstrom Air Force Base in Great Falls. The plane is making daily flights over some of the most sensitive military installations in the western part of the United States. It is a part of a treaty agreement called Open Skies, which allows planes from each country to fly over the other's territory, making it certain that arms treaty limits are being followed. The U.S. already completed flights over Russia and Ukraine in January and February, and some military websites say Russia gets more out of the flights than it does with the U.S. because the Russian spy satellites are not as sophisticated as those from the United States.